in the growth of the modern economy and depends on financial support, allowing SMEs to have the freedom to develop and to grow the country's wealth, as well as encouraging successful business people to pass their knowledge and experience on.
I think the important thing is through universities, through business schools, and through businesses, we need to bring the local entrepreneurs, those who have started a small business and maybe only 1 or 2 million turnover, but they're successful. I think those would have a more effective impact on the young people. In most developed countries, 80% of new jobs and 60% of economic growth comes from mid-sized businesses. Small to medium-sized businesses in the UK, Germany and United States contribute way beyond the type of support they get from the government or from anybody else. The headlines is always the big boys, but in actual fact, on the ground, the SMEs and mid-markets significantly improve the wealth of the nation way beyond the recognition they get.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amin Amiri.
I did not know I needed to make a speech, so excuse me if it's short. But I can beat Jerry Young's record. I came to the UK when I was 16 years old, not 17. And even though I've lived in Boston, Argentina, and in New York on Wall Street, this is home to me. In fact, my office on Wall Street was number 7 World Trade Center, which is the 3rd building that collapsed after the first 2 went. And Manchester always has a unique place for me because of George Best, Manchester United, and and I know the tables have turned somewhat, but one day, we will be back. So, and this is a significant honor for me because it comes from the Variety, because Variety is in my heart. It's a fantastic charity, and it looks after children, which is so important, not only for the children, but also for the society. And I'm very, very pleased to be here, and I'm so happy to be amongst people who have the same philosophy in terms of an ethos, in terms of making sure that the less able people or less privileged people in our community are looked after. And one thing that has always bugged me is that business should be a force for good. And although I know many mid-market businesses are a force for good, I also know significantly big businesses who are not a good force for good. Only if Google and Facebook and Microsoft and Amazon paid what the tax that they actually should pay, we would not have to rely on the charity of individuals like yourselves. Wonderful charitable ideas, but we would not have to do that. And I'm going to call to account those guys who think that earning money is the only thing that is important in this world, and ask them to pay the taxes. Get rid of these advisors who tell them to put the structures into places where the money disappears and nobody knows where it is. And I think they should be ashamed of themselves. And there is another Iranian, I was born in Iran, who became an inspiration to me, and that's Dawood Alliance, Lord Alliance now, who started Coatswala, the biggest textile company in the world. And the other inspiration, I think, was my mother told me a story that when I was born, she took one look at me and she said, "Oh my God, I hope you will have a good brain." And I don't think she was wrong, because there's, you know, everything else. So, and my father didn't disagree, so that gave me 2 boosts of confidence, you know. So, once again, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to have been awarded this, and I'm so grateful of so many of you to be here to support Variety. And all I can say is support Variety, because the big boys want, and I think we have to do it. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amin Amiri. And a big thank you to Amin for balancing the football tables in the room tonight. Yeah. Okay, our next award will be presented by Mike Cohen of Bellagio Global. And as Britain's greatest ever female gymnast, our next guest's impressive achievements include Olympic bronze medal, a triple world champion,